About 2 weeks ago, I started giving our cats this dehydrated goat milk by The Honest Kitchen, and I just wanted to tell you how it went, what we liked, what we didn't like, and our overall impressions. And I divided my review in 5 parts. Benefits stated by The Honest Kitchen, palatability, quality, convenience, and effectiveness on coat, appetite, stool, behavior, and mood. Hi friends, welcome to Cats of Sunshine. My name is Vani. I'm a cat behavior specialist, a holistic cat wellness coach, and animal Reiki practitioner. And I make videos on cat-related topics to help cat parents understand their little tigers a little bit better, and also to help our little indoor tigers have the best life that they can have, because hey, they deserve it. Before we continue with this review, I want to mention that this video is not sponsored by The Honest Kitchen, and I'm not an affiliate with them. This is just me as a conscious cat parent trying out their goat milk and sharing my opinion about it. Another thing that I want to quickly mention here is that there are 2 dehydrated goat milks by The Honest Kitchen. One is made for dogs and cats, and this is the one that I have. And the other one is made specifically for cats, and you would see like a little cat face on the packaging. And so usually I try to pick supplements that are made for cats specifically. But this time I was in my local pet store and I just saw this dehydrated goat milk, and it says it is good for dogs and cats. So I thought, well, let me try. And that was a big mistake. And there are differences in these 2 goat milks. First of all, when you look at the ingredient list of the goat milk that is made for dogs and cats, you see it has a bunch of probiotics, goat milk of course, and it has bromelain. And bromelain is an enzyme mixture present in the pineapple, and it has various potential health benefits like reducing inflammation and improving digestion. And so I sort of asked myself, well, if bromelain is so awesome, then why isn't it included in cat goat milk? And I found one article on the web that mentioned that bromelain can cause allergic reaction resulting in stomach upset. And I couldn't find a solid study to prove that, to tell me more about this information. And this article that I found was written by a biologist, so I do hope that there's some scientific background to back it up. But as I said, I don't know how reliable this information is. But definitely I was like, wow, live and learn, because I didn't know that before I tried this goat milk. And this is why I'm so committed to making these videos, to help cat parents understand all those little things and just be knowledgeable about it. So I did give our cats this dehydrated dog/cat milk because essentially I learned about bromelain when I was preparing my review. So all the results that I will be talking about here and all our impressions about this goat milk, it's going to be essentially about the goat milk that is made for dogs and cats. This is just so you know about it. And this goat milk with bromelain did give one of our kitties a digestive upset, so that definitely made me thinking. Anyway, stay with me and we'll talk about it in more detail. Try now dehydrated goat milk from The Honest Kitchen. So now we're gonna be rehydrating our dehydrated goat milk. I have my container, I have my spoon, I have my fork, and my water. So the recommendations say that if the cat's weight is less than 25 pounds, we need half of a tablespoon of the powder and a 1/4 cup of water. And it recommends doing it with warm water. So I have my warm water here. And let's mix it. So I have my spoon, this is a tablespoon, and I need half of this. I'll probably try to take less at first, just to see how kitties react to it. So this is our milk powder. And this is our warm water. It does smell like milk. Well, I think this is it. I would probably give 1 or 2 teaspoons at first, just to introduce the kitties to something new, because we don't want to overwhelm their tummies. And I'll let you know how it goes. So if you have leftovers, make sure to keep them in the fridge. Number 1. Benefits stated by The Honest Kitchen. At first, let's talk about the benefits of this goat milk. As stated on the Honest Kitchen website, this milk is 100% human grade and highly digestible goat's milk that is blended with over 1.25 billion active probiotics and digestive enzymes. It helps support their digestion, immune systems, and well-being. It can be served on its own as a tasty drink or over the food. And by the way, the goat milk for cats has different set of probiotics, and the website states that these probiotics are formulated specifically for cats' needs. Number 2, palatability. And now let's talk about palatability, because if your cat doesn't eat it, well, it doesn't matter how good the product is, right?
True.
So I offered this goat milk to our 2 cats. One is a cat who eats anything and everything, and the second cat is a very picky eater. And I mixed this goat milk with water, so it was in a rehydrated form, and I added it to their meal. So cat number 1, who eats everything, he loved it. He ate it no problem, so palatability is good. But the second cat, who is a picky eater, she didn't really want to eat it as much, and she would only eat if I add a tiny amount of goat milk in her food. So that sort of tells me that it's not super tasty, but if your cat eats most of his food, then he would probably eat this goat milk. I did offer this goat milk in liquid form as is to our cats, just like regular milk, and they didn't like it. And even the cat who eats anything and everything, he didn't want to eat it. I mean, he didn't want to drink it. So for palatability, out of 5 stars, I would give it 4. So you can also sprinkle this, the powder as is on top of their food. And I didn't do that because essentially I think they would be fine with it if it's just a little bit. And I kind of feel like it's always good to give your cat a supplement, even if they don't want to eat too much. It's okay. If you just sprinkle a little bit of something, whether it's B12 or probiotics or enzymes or this powdered goat milk, they'll still get the benefit of it. So if they are not thrilled about the taste, just lower the amount that you're giving. Number 3, quality. And now let's look at the ingredients. It's basically, of course, there's a goat milk, there's a set of probiotics, and there's a bromelain that we talked about before. There's no GMO in this goat milk, no fillers, no added flavors, colors, or other unnecessary ingredients. No grain, soy, wheat, or meat byproducts. The ingredients are very straightforward and clean, so I think this goat milk will be great for a cat who has food intolerance or like food sensitivities. And the powder is clean, it's white, there's no clumps, so the quality is definitely 5 stars. I really like The Honest Kitchen as a company because they're very transparent and they're honest about their ingredients and their sourcing. And they also have very high standards. They only use human-grade wholesome foods you recognize from your own kitchen. Their suppliers must provide proof of food origins, screening, handling, cleaning, and more, and they only source from farms they know and trust. They have a whole page on their website dedicated to quality assurance, their standards, and even a sourcing map. And you can tell that this company, they really care and they really doing their best to provide the best food for cats and dogs. Number 4, convenience. This is a dehydrated powdered product that can be used as needed. And there's no mention that the product expires quickly once opened, so that's definitely a plus. So you can basically use it as needed as you go. You don't have to give it every single day. You just mix up the amount that you need and you can store the rest safely somewhere in a dark cabinet. And I really like that because, for example, with the raw goat milk that you buy from like a freezer at a pet store, you gotta use it up within 7 or 10 days after opening. So that kind of gives you that rushing feeling that, oh, I gotta use it up, otherwise it's gonna go bad. The powder is very easy to mix. I added warm water, stirred it with a fork until all powder dissolves, and there was no clumping. So I give 5 stars for convenience as well. Number 5, effectiveness on coat, mood, appetite, stool, and behavior. So I was giving this goat milk to our cats in rehydrated form, meaning that I added water to it, and I gave maybe like 1 or 2 tablespoons a day, And as I mentioned before, one cat who liked it, he received it daily, and the other cat who didn't like it, she barely ate anything. So I don't think we can really judge the effectiveness of this goat milk based on her. I must say that there are many things that can affect how the cat feels and behaves. It could be the weather, it got much colder here, for example. It could be their main food, trying out new treats or toys, their emotional state and emotional state of the household. So it's hard to judge the effectiveness of this one supplement when other things around them are not consistent. But I did my best, and I definitely saw some changes in one area, so let's take a look. Coat. I didn't see much difference in our cat's coats, and I honestly think 2 weeks is not enough to see effectiveness for that specific area. Appetite. It stayed the same mostly, maybe slightly increased. Stool. And this is where it gets interesting. So one of our kitties, Puddles, sometimes he has this really hard stool, and I can tell that he's struggling when he's in the box. So this is primarily why I decided to try this goat milk. So the great thing is that actually once I started giving him this goat milk, I could tell that he is definitely feeling better, and his stool improved, and he wasn't struggling anymore in the box, and he would have this crazy zoomies after going to his little box. So in that perspective, I think this goat milk is really good for cats who have constipation or just who have hard stool. But I would say on the 10th day after me giving him this goat milk every day, his stool started being loose, and I wasn't really thrilled about it, and I'm sure he wasn't either. So I think maybe for him specifically, maybe it was this bromelain that possibly caused this allergic reaction and stomach upset. Another thing is maybe I was giving him too much of this goat milk, or maybe just too often, because every cat is a one-of-a-kind individual, and they have unique bodies, and we should always adjust how much supplement we're giving. For example, if we're seeing that with the specific goat milk that he started having low stools, I stopped it immediately, and I put him on a diet of just chicken and pumpkin, and his stool improved, which is great, and we're really happy about it. But I think once we start any supplement, we should keep a mental or written journal of any changes, just to make sure that our cats' bodies are accepting this supplement and they are really improving instead of getting worse, which of course we don't want. Since each cat is one of a kind, we might need to tweak how we give this goat milk, amounts and how often we give it to them, etc. And I would definitely recommend getting the goat milk specifically made for cats if you're thinking of buying the goat milk from the Honest Kitchen. And please do not repeat my mistake. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue giving it to our cats. Honestly, I don't think I will. I feel bad about throwing away the rest of the goat milk, but I don't think I can just donate it to an animal shelter because it's open. But I don't want to hurt them, and especially, it's possible that Puddles, he had this allergic reaction to the goat milk. I mean, not to the goat milk, but to the bromelain. So I think it's just safer to just throw it away and learn from my mistake. And please, you learn from my mistake as well. Overall, I think this goat milk is good for kitties who have hard stools and who struggle with constipation. Just make sure that you keep an eye on them, how they're doing, and adjust the dosage or how often you give it to them based on how their poop is. Mood and behavior. There's not much change in here. I would say maybe the kitty who was getting the goat milk, whose name is Puddles, he started having more zoomies, so he was more active, which means that he's in a good mood. So I think that's an improvement. I mean, he's generally like a very crazy cat. I would say he's very timid but very crazy. So I'm not sure if it's the result of the goat milk, but I think I definitely noticed more zoomies after I started this goat milk. So we give 4 stars for effectiveness. So here are the pros and cons of this dehydrated goat milk for cats and dogs. Pros: convenience, it has probiotics, and it's good for hard stools and constipation. Cons: it might cause stomach upset or diarrhea. Overall, I think this goat milk is a great supplement to introduce to your cat and see if they like it. And if you decide to go with the Honest Kitchen goat milk, make sure you get the cat goat milk. It has this cute cat face on the packaging. And you don't have to give goat milk every day. It can just be like a little nutritional boost once in a while. And I especially recommend giving it to your cat mixed with water in rehydrated form, because I do think that most cats, they don't get enough hydration as it is, especially if they eat dry food, which is honestly not very natural diet for a cat. So if your cat eats dry food, just try to give them as many opportunities for added hydration, such as maybe offering a water fountain, or maybe giving them goat milk or bone broth, just anything you can. You can even add water to the dry food, whatever you can come up with to add more hydration into their bodies. You can also use this goat milk in its powdered form. Just sprinkle it on top of your cat's food, and that should add some nutrients and some variety to your cat's diet. As with any supplement, I recommend taking either written or mental notes just for yourself to see if there's any improvement, or maybe your cat is not doing very good on this supplement. So do whatever you can, just keep track of any changes. And if your cat has any health problems, and maybe he is on, or she on some medicine, or maybe on some other supplements, before taking this goat milk, please make sure to ask your vet if that's okay. So our overall score for this dehydrated cat and dog goat milk from the Honest Kitchen will be 4.5 stars. One thing is that I would really like for the Honest Kitchen to change the packaging for this dog/cat goat milk and just make it a dog goat milk, especially since they already have a cat goat milk. So it's a little bit confusing for cat parents to see, okay, is there any difference or not? Because the packaging does say that it's for dogs and cats, so hey, it should be safe for my cat, right? But clearly the cat goat milk is formulated specifically for cats, because it has that blend of probiotics that is unique for cats, and probably because of that bromelain enzyme is not on a cat goat milk. So if the Honest Kitchen somehow watches this video, please change your packaging and just have like a cat goat milk and dog goat milk, so it's very clear, and so cat parents will not get confused. I honestly think that I am like a very vigilant and crazy cat person, because I check and double check all the cat food and cat supplements and cat products that I give to our cats. And this one time I let down my guard thinking like, hey, you know, it should be fine, right? And yeah, definitely I learned my lesson. And this is why I'm making this video reviews to make it easier for you to make the right choices. So this is all I wanted to share with you today, and I hope that you found this information useful and interesting. And if there's any other topics that you want me to talk about, or maybe some supplements or foods that you want me to review, please make sure to comment down below to let me know, and I'll be happy to do so. And again, thank you so much for watching my video, and I wish you and your kitties a wonderful day. See you soon.